Hey guys, my name is Chantel. Welcome back to my channel and thanks for hanging out with me today. So we are going to talk about Haikyuu episode 11. I almost said 12. We're here to talk about the 11th episode of Haikyuu to the Top, and I'm so incredibly excited to talk about this. As always, I will be doing my makeup as I talk to you guys about Haikyuu, so I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys are staying safe out there, and yeah. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll the rest of the video. Alrighty, you guys, ignore all the redness that's going on with my skin. It's just, today is not a good day for my skin. But whatever, we're just gonna roll with it, right? Right. Oh man, you guys, I have so much stuff to say regarding with this week's episode, specifically with, I guess, Tsubakihara, so to speak. Just this match in general. Oh boy. Which I guess let's go ahead and start there. Let's just dive into the bad for this week's episode, which necessarily, like, I don't want to say that it's bad. It's somewhere like in the middle. It's kind of bittersweet, I guess. I don't know how else to describe it. Like, I feel kind of like bad, especially if you were looking forward to this match. And if Tsubakihara was like one of your faves. And don't get me wrong, I do, and I remember enjoying this match and reading it in the manga, but I get it. I get why this was so short because of what is to come in the second court, which I guess I'll talk about a little bit. Well, obviously I won't spoil anything, but let me just like give you guys the bigger picture for you anime onlys that might be a little bit confused as to why this was so short, or if it felt short to you guys, because I don't know how you anime onlys are seeing this. Like, does it feel short? Is it okay for you guys? Are you like fine and dandy? Like, tell me please. So as a manga reader, I remember this match being short, but not this short. Like, honestly speaking, I personally thought we were gonna get at least another episode, maybe the last episode as well, like the finale would be focusing on Tsubakihara, but I guess production IG and the Haikyuu staff were like, nope, you are wrong. This is what we're gonna do. And this is coming from someone who doesn't really remember like everything that happened in this match, because like I said in my previous video, it's been a while since I've seen the material for this match. Like maybe 3 years ago is when I read the Tsubakihara match. I don't necessarily really remember, but the point is, it wasn't really this short. And I'm kind of bummed, but not really, because the reason why this was so short and why it was cut so short is because the next match that's coming up, which obviously we won't see it until the second core, because like, why would you start another match with 2 more episodes, right? But the second core, my dear friends, my anime onlys, is basically going to be just as long, if not maybe longer, than the Shiratorizawa match. So put that into perspective, and then you'll be like, oh. When I was reading the next match that's coming up in the manga for Kurasuno, it took about 2 years, 2 freaking years to finish. Let that sink in for you anime onlys, and then like, just, it's a lot of good stuff is coming in the next core, and that's all I'm gonna say. Like, yes, it sucks that this match with Tsubakihara ended so short and so much stuff was probably cut from it, but sacrifices must be made for the epicness that is to come in the second core regarding the next match for Kurasuno. So all in all, maybe it's just me because the next match is one of my favorite matches from the national arc, but personally I'm okay with this little sacrifice. Like I said, sacrifices need to be made, some things need to be cut, and it's understandable because there's just not enough time to, you know, animate everything that was in the Tsubakihara match. But like I said, that's fine because I don't know, like, I just don't know how else to put it. Like, to me personally, I'm fine with it. I'm totally fine. As long as they do good with the next match, then by all means, go ahead. So yeah, that is like basically like my only little bad things, so to speak, for this week's episode. So yeah, besides that, let's just go ahead and talk about the rest of the episode, because the rest of this episode was pretty fantastic. I do appreciate production IG and the way that they went about with this Tsubakihara match, because like I said, even though they couldn't fit everything and sacrifices had to be made so they could focus for the next match and give these last 2 episodes to shift the focus to the next team that we're about to see, overall it was a good match. Once again, just to reiterate what I was saying in the beginning, it's been a while since I read the Tsubakihara match in the manga, so I don't really remember all the details that happened. I think they did a pretty good job. But honestly, I will definitely go ahead and reread this match, just because I personally want to see like what exactly they cut out and what details we missed in the anime. But yeah, and also just to have like a little bit of a refresher, you know? But honestly, like, this really did caught me off guard. I never expected for this match to end so quickly, especially in this episode. I was just like, hold on, especially because when I saw like this episode like wrapping up at least the first set, when they dived into the second set and you saw like the score, I was like, whoa, we just missed like a whole entire half of the second set. Like, what just happened? As soon as I realized that, I was just like, yep, they're trying to end it right here and then. But you know, it's fine. It's fine. Sorry I keep going back to it, but anywho, going back to Tsubakihara, let's talk about I don't remember the character's name, but he was a very, very precious boy. Basically, it's the character that did the underhand serve, which when I saw it, I was like, oh shit, like we don't really like get to see underhand serves a lot in Haikyuu. Like everyone, we just mainly see them do like the overhand, but never the underhand. And I was like, holy shit, here we go. Because even the characters themselves were like taken aback. They were like, an underhand? What is going on? And holy shit, I gotta say, the way that they animated the underhand serve, just you could see like the power that goes into that serve was so epic and so cool. I was like, damn, they're really going all out with these matches. Like, oh my gosh, which again, once again, makes me excited for what's to come in the second core. Anywho, this poor boy is on his first game at Nationals. Like, this is the first time he's stepping on the court, and he is so nervous. And I like how Yamaguchi and Kinoshita are like, oh man, he's way more nervous than I am. Which I'm like, oh man, like, I bet they sympathize with him because they know, they're like, boy, we know, we've been there. You know, which I thought was really adorable. And you can tell like he's just so nervous, to the point where he ends up hitting someone on the head with his underhand serve, and I was like, oh. But the good thing is that his teammates, I like that the team was like, you know, no big deal, it's fine, we all make mistakes, and they all like blurt out their mistakes too, which I thought was really, really sweet, because you can kind of see that this kind of helps the character loosen up a little bit, and you can kind of just see him relax. And I do like that the coach from Tsubakihara says, you know, your teammates will never fault you for a mistake and they won't be hard on you, but the person that is like the hardest on you is yourself. And I'm like, damn, like when he said that instant, I thought of Yamaguchi, and I was like, yeah, that's basically true, because we've seen this with Yamaguchi. So I really, really felt what this coach was saying. I was like, damn, you know, he's right. The harshest critic is definitely yourself. Like, you will beat yourself up for so many mistakes that, you know, you probably have no control over, or, you know, just things happen, but you will always be hard on yourself, and only you can overcome that. So I thought that was like a nice little thing there. But of course, we start to see this character, you know, gain his confidence a little bit, and that's when we see like this really cool underhand serve, like the way they animated it, holy shit. And which leads up to the next thing that happens in this match, which I saw coming, and like I said, as I was watching this episode, I was like, oh man, I know what's about to happen. I'm remembering, everything's coming back to me. And before we got into this underhand serve thing, I think it was the third years, were saying, you know, man, I can't just get used to like this setting, like everything feels so far away, the ceiling seems so high, blah blah blah. You see Coach Ukai, like, he's hearing them and he looks nervous, he looks a little nervous, and I'm like, here we go. Like, there is just some foreshadowing right there. And of course, when this guy does his underhand serve and Daichi tries to get it, he can't because it just goes all the way up to the ceiling and up in the lights, and he just can't see where the ball is. And you're like, fuck. You know, it's a major oh shit moment, you know? So I'm like, damn, this is gonna be a little bit difficult for our boys to adjust. Of course, you know, eventually our boys do get the hang of it, and they're able to get the ball, and, you know, things start to go back on their side because they were having a tough time with this underhand serve. Like, they really were, but they did their best. And I like that Nishinoya was the first one to catch it. Like, he was able to do what needed to be done. And yeah, Kurasan was just doing everything that they possibly can, and oh man, it's just pretty awesome to see everyone work together. And just, I don't know, I guess maybe it's because this is like the first match of nationals, so like everything is like, all my emotions are so heightened. I'm just like, yes, go. Like the whole time I was cheering, everybody was like, go, get it. Anyways, besides Tsubakihara, let's go ahead and talk about like everything else happening with Kurasano, because our baby crows did really awesome with this first match. And let's just talk about our boy Hinata for a little bit, because oh my god, I am so proud of my boy. I'm so proud of my son. Hinata was able to kind of predict and see where the ball was gonna go. Like, his timing wasn't, not timing, but like his distance wasn't the best, because obviously we saw him like get hit in the chest, and like it's just wasn't like obviously like 100% the best thing and perfect, but it got the job done in the end. And it's funny because you hear like the outside perspective of everyone like, man, he sucks, man, what is he doing, blah blah blah. And we also hear Yamaguchi say, you know, I don't know if Hinata is just lucky or unlucky. And that's when Nishinoya comes in and says, no man, like, he meant to do that. It might have not been perfect, but he meant to do it. You can just see that Nishinoya is like so proud. And Daichi notices it too. He's like, oh my god, he's actually reading. It's not just his animal instincts. And once Nishinoya says this, that's when we really start to see like Hinata really is doing this like on purpose. He meant to be in the spot that he was. And it's just so awesome. Like you can see everyone's so proud of him, and I'm just like the stuff that he learned during his ball boy arc, it's coming into fruition. Then you're seeing it in this match. Like, you're seeing like the fruits of his labor, and it's just, oh my god, like I said, I could not be prouder of this boy. The next character I do want to focus just a tiny bit on is Kinoshita. Oh my gosh, this was like his first match for nationals. Like, he stepped in the court, and oh my gosh, poor baby boy, like he was really nervous. And you know, he hit it where he wanted it to, like the ball went where he wanted it to, right? But he's like bumming himself out. He's like, man, I knew that could have been better, but at the same time, you know, I hit it where I wanted it to, so you know, that's a plus. And then you just see his face, and you can see like the determination there and wanting to do better next time. And I'm just like, man, like I'm so proud of you. Like, you did good though. He did good. The next character I do want to talk about for just a little bit is Suga, because oh my god. So Suga got put in at the end of this match, and oh my god, like I said, oh my god, I could not be more prouder of Suga. Like I already knew that he was gonna do really good, but oh my gosh, it's always so nice to see him out on the court. And of course, like, this is no exception. And you know, we have known this, but it's just always so nice to see. And then seeing him put what he knows about this team, and just from observing them as well from the sidelines, like, oh my gosh, like Suga really is the MVP, man. Like, I just love him. Like, every time I see him on the court, it just makes me love him even more. Like, I'm just like, oh, I love you so much. And I just like how he was giving us like little details about each player, and you know, him kind of just predicting like what was gonna happen, and just being there at the right time, right moment, you know? And it was just so amazing to see. Like, Suga, my boy, you're doing good, sweetie. And since we're on the topic of Suga, by the way, just because I just remembered something in this episode, this episode actually kind of opens up with the former members of Kurasuno. Basically before, you know, Hinata and all our first year peeps joined in. So it was nice because you get to see like these faces that we've seen in flashbacks, right? And to see them and just hearing like their little comments here and there, like you can tell like he's just like, oh my gosh, Daichi, oh my gosh, Suga, oh my gosh, Asahi. Like this boy was so proud of his kohai. Like it was so incredibly adorable, but you can see like he's just so emotional that they actually did it. They made it to nationals, especially after what he said to them. You know, he's like, if the time comes and you have like the ticket to nationals in your grasp, like just take it in. And it's just like, oh my gosh, like they took the opportunity, and it's just like, oh my gosh, like it's so nice. And I like this transition where we see our third year boys, I think they're like in their first year, and then they transition into now. It's just like, oh, it's so cute, and it's such a nice transition because you can see just how much they've grown over the years. It's just like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. It was honestly like a really, really nice touch. Not only that, but we also had like a little bit of a flashback with Tanaka when he had his hair. Like his hair was blonde and everything, and oh my gosh, I was like, oh, okay, you know, because I don't remember this detail. But I like that the former people from Kurasuno that were like up in the stands were remembering how Tanaka used to be. And it was, like, just seeing that was just like, man, Tanaka really has changed a lot. We might not know it, but holy shit, like seeing that flashback, I was like, damn. Like it was just a nice little tidbit to see here. And yeah, I mean, that's all I have to say with them. Let's see, am I forgetting anything? Oh, just because I'm such an Atsumu stan, and because, you know, if I see Atsumu, I gotta talk about him. We did get to see my boy Atsumu for the first time in forever. It's been so long since I've heard his beautiful voice and since we last saw him, and I'm just kind of a little emotional. But it was really nice to see him at the beginning of this episode because he sees Kageyama and he's like, man, Kageyama's kind of changed since the last time I saw him. I wonder what happened. I like that when he's talking about Kageyama and he's just like, but who is that? And his eyes are just on Hinata, and I'm like, oh, like he noticed Hinata, like, oh man. And honestly, that's all I'm gonna say. It was just really nice to hear Atsumu and just have these little tiny Atsumu slash Mamo crumbs, because, you know, I'll take what I can get, you know? Which, by the way, speaking of Mamo and Atsumu, there is a Haikyuu live stream tomorrow. My time, it's gonna be at 4 in the freaking morning. But you know what? I'm gonna probably wake up and watch it because why not? It's Mamo. And right now, with everything that's happening in the world, I need this. I need this. But if you guys need this too, I definitely recommend checking out the live stream if you want. But before you guys do go into the live stream, they are going to be talking about some spoilers because they're going to promote what's to come in the second core. So, you know, just be careful of that. So if you're an anime only, you don't want to know anything about the characters, especially the secret surprise thing that's gonna happen probably at the end of this core, then don't watch it. Just watch this live stream whenever this first core ends. But other than that, if you don't mind spoilers, go ahead, go watch it, because, you know, it's Mamoru freaking Miyano. He's gonna like brighten up your day, I promise you. I will leave a link down below if you guys want to catch that live stream with Mamo, and as well as a few other voice actors from Haikyuu, which is obviously Ayumu Murase and Kaito Ishikawa. So yeah, there you go. And since I am a Suki stan as well, we're gonna talk about my boy for just a little bit, because my boy, I'm so proud of him. So incredibly proud of him. Like, I was just geeking out the whole time anytime Tsukishima had like moments in this episode. Like, oh my gosh, my boy really, really is fantastic. And he continues to prove and show me why he's my #1 favorite. Like, yes, Atsumu might come in and like steal the spot once every now and then, But Tsukishima, he will always be in my heart and I will always love him. He is the love of my life, man. So I'm really glad that he gets his like moments to shine in this episode, and like I said, it just made me geek out so hard and I was so proud of him. Just seeing him and how Tsubakihara like saw him as like a threat. They were like, ah crap, I have to deal with this guy. And just hearing his monologue and hearing him like just his thought process and everything was just oh my gosh, spectacular. And seeing him toss for Asahi, holy shit, oh my god, that was so epic. I was like fangirling so incredibly hard. I was just like, that's my baby boy, that's my husband. Like, I'm so proud. Like I just really loved him. And I like that Suga says this. I think it was Suga. He says that, you know, he might not be the best at everything, but he can do the job. He gets the job done, and it might be sloppy, it might not be the best, it's not perfect, but there's so much care that goes into it. And I was just like, Suga gets it. That's right. See, I'm tearing up now because like, I'm just so proud of my boy. Like, my boy did that, you guys. He did that. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And I guess the last thing that I want to talk about is the preview for next week's episode. You guys, we saw Hoshimi in the freaking preview episode, like his back, and I'm just, and you see Hinata's eyes, I'm like, oh, I'm so excited for next week's episode. So excited because we get to see Hoshimi again, because it's been a while since we saw him too, and I'm so excited for the next episode, you guys. I'm so excited. But other than that, I think I'm done rambling for this week's episode of Haikyuu. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing my rambles once again, you know, like I've been doing every week while I do my makeup. And yeah, so I will see you guys in the next video. Stay safe, stay healthy, and yeah, so I hope you guys are doing it okay out there, and I will see you guys in next week's video. Bye!